The Deegans, not playing by the rules. Hey everybody, Walter Wanders, buckle up, strap in. We got a hard-hitting pull, no punches, no sugarcoating it, no rainbows or sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage today. Welcome to the show. I hope everybody's doing great. Let's jump back on the moto merry-go-round and examine the good, the bad, and maybe a little bit of the ugly.
No, Walty, not the ugly. I only examine rainbows and sunshine and electric motorcycles.
No. Somebody's got to read between the lines and look between the ruts, and we got some ruts to look through today. Welcome to the show. I hope everybody's doing great. So the Deegans, are a big piece of the puzzle here with moto, obviously, and they've basically bulldozed their way into pro moto. You know, Brian Deegan, back in the day, when he was with Triple X, I mean, we were just dirt bagging it out of box fans, right? And the industry did not want anything to do with Triple X. They made us change our name to X3. You know, we had porn star clothing. We had to call it P-Star. I mean, they just didn't want us there. But the fans did. And unfortunately for the industry, they couldn't stop us. We were the longest running privateer team in the history of the sport, 10 years in the sport, and we ended up in semi-trucks with, a lot of big names coming through that rig. And I was fortunate enough to watch and be part of that program from the start. And I started actually with porn star clothing is how I met the dudes at Triple X. And then I came over and went to work for them, ended up managing the sales there and just getting involved with a lot of, me and the main owner just pretty much ran that whole office. And it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. So a lot of people came through, and then, of course, freestyle exploded, which was a big part of Triple X, and Brian Deegan couldn't make it as a racer, so he went on to make it as a huge freestyle motocross figure in the sport and made his money there. And, since then, freestyle has pretty much fizzled out, and the racing has become more saturated, watered down, bubblegum, and corporate than it's ever been in history, right? And they would like it very much to be squeaky clean because they want to appeal to a wide range of basically customers, right? And so if we're too hard-hitting extreme sports, alternative sports, that's going to limit that. They want it to be squeaky clean and ball sports. And that's where I feel people like Ricky have really sold out, because Ricky, McGrath got it. McGrath, he was in Steel Roots, and McGrath, he dug that whole vibe of the, bad boy image. But Carmichael, not so much. Carmichael was just all business, and it was just, that's fine. I think we have to have a lot of characters in the sport, and that's what made this so fun. And that's where we get like Danger Boy now. Danger Boy is like the hardest thing we have, and he would be soft in comparison to back in the day when his dad rode for Triple X. I mean, that's when it was like porn star clothing, punk rock music. The other owners of Triple X were drummers in punk rock bands, No Effects, Strung Out. That element of the industry was present. And so I think that's what the Deegans now, they want to see that back. They want to see that old school kind of vibe back. And Danger Boy, he's pretty much of that pedigree, but he's a little different. Like, he's not as, cool as maybe the guys were like his dad back in the day, where we were more of this hard and punk rock. He's just more of this kid who's basically got a mouth on him, and his dad was, pretty much the bad boy, and so he's got a little bit of that in him. But his persona, like we develop and nurture personas in the sport. The other guy we have, of course, is the cowboy, Aaron Plessinger. I mean, in the industry, of course, I'm sure massages that with him.
We really like this persona. It really adds a lot of, character to the sport.
It's kind of NASCAR, and they really, look at NASCAR as a model in terms of what they can shoot for, in terms of, the type of, growth they can have, and the demographic they're marketing to. But I smell something with the Deegans, because first of all, what I see out of Danger Boy when I'm seeing him now interview is he's pretty much over it. He doesn't want to be in the 250s. He feels like he's bigger than the 250s. He feels like he's bigger than the 450s. And he is, because of the marketing machine they've created around him, right? But I feel like this sense, and even with Jet Lawrence, we gave him a really hard time coming in, because the whole selling out with donuts and this VIP experience, it was blatantly just trying to maximize revenues off of you and me, and really just watering down the sport. And so we want that hard-hitting element back into the sport. And I think that's where the Deegans come in. I think that they're to the point now where they're like, okay, we've pretty much done what we came to do. We've dominated. We're here. We basically are bigger than the industry. They can't tell us what to do at the level they were telling us before. And we don't have to comply with that anymore. Now, also, there's obviously this huge divide between the promoters and the riders. Like these professional athletes filling up stadiums, even if you're a 20th place rider, you're the 20th fastest guy in the world at that night. And even though they're lappers, I mean, these are professional dudes going out there risking their lives at a really high level. So the risk doesn't really meet the reward. It's only because they love the sport so much. And a lot of these guys will go out and race because they love the sport. And of course, that carrot dangling that, hey, maybe I can get the factory ride. But, you know, with the Deegans, I think that they're going to be instrumental in potentially ushering in a riders union. I know, some of the other riders now, I know Hunter Lawrence has alluded to that in a recent interview where he had mentioned that there's a huge disconnect. And so the industry doesn't like that. But you see, they've created a monster, even with the Lawrences, because now that they've cashed in, like they have ride off into the sunset money. They could quit tomorrow and be set for life. That's the type of money that they have now. And the Deegans are the same way. So the money, you used to be able to control people through money, but you can't do that with these people anymore. And I think that that they're going to be forced to basically, if they want to grow the sport, and they probably have talked about it, these suits in their conference rooms that they don't even know how to ride. They're just Wall Street type of investors that are involved here looking at the numbers. They don't love the sport the way you do or I do. They just want to maximize. I mean, we see that. They've got now a lot of companies like betting. Now we can bet on this stuff. They want you broke. They want you betting on this stuff. As long as they can make money off it, they don't care who it hurts. They just want to make money. And that's a sad thing, but that's the reality of the sport and the waters we're now swimming in. But I believe that there's something going on over at the Deegan camp. I think if I was going to put any money on anybody trying to change the sport, it's probably the Deegans. They're obviously in the best position to do it, but really it's the demeanor I'm seeing out of Danger Boy himself, where he talks with his dad a lot, at least talks to him a lot. And I think behind closed doors, they're talking how the industry's corrupt, how it's one-sided, and it's got to change. And even when Deegan gets interviewed, I could be totally wrong. I mean, one thing's for sure is he's definitely does not care. You put a camera on him and one of these stupid reporters, and I hate to say stupid reporters because they're not stupid, but some of these questions certainly are. And they're just company people following company narratives. And when Danger Boy gets interviewed, he's really just like, it's laughable. Like, he's just like, what? Like, he's just so... Like, I know, you just never know what you're going to get out of this kid anymore. And he just totally does not want to talk to you. He does not want to interview for you. He knows the questions that are coming are ridiculous and stupid. And his face and his emotions communicate that as much. So it's getting gnarly out there. But if you're new, there's never been a more important time in moto history to get centered and surrounded with like-minded people where iron can sharpen iron. We asked it on the community page of the Wealthy Wanderers YouTube channel. Are the Deegans done playing by the rules? Let's go ahead and jump over, take a look at those results, take a lap around the comments, then we'll meet back here and wrap it up. Let's get started. Race fans, buckle up, strap in, roll up your windows, lock your doors, throw on an open face and a fresh pair of tear-offs because the roost is about to fly. Asked on the Wealthy Wanderers community page of the YouTube channel, are the Deegans going to make things hard on the industry and stop playing by the rules? 76% of you said, yup, it's on, bro. The gloves are coming off, while 24% of you said, nope, they'll fall in line and be good little soldiers. Well, let's go ahead and saddle up and take a lap around some of your comments. First up to the starting gate, rocking his open face and a fresh pair of tear-offs is Kyle Strever. He comes in with, Danger's gonna race like the Gladiator Games blood sport it is, while the Wonder Boy and his brother kindly request that races be canceled anytime it's not rainbows and sunshine. Boom, and there it is there, giving it to us. And giving it to us straight. Thanks for the comment, my brother. Let's see who's up next. And our 1P4P pops the clutch, comes flying down the start straight with, is anyone else excited for the first time Deegan sends Jet or Hunter into the tough blocks? I am. Boom, and there it is there. Gloves coming off again. Jet and Hunter, watch out. Danger Boy's coming, and he's not playing by the rules. Thanks for the comment. Let's see who's up next. Next up, Alan Strew comes flying in, throws the block pass with not a Deegan fan at all. That kid is as disrespectful and entitled as they come. Boom, and there it is there. Can't really argue with that one, but the kid's here, and it looks like he's not playing by the rules, my brother. Thanks for the comment. Let's use up next. John Frisbee pulls a tear off, goes flying by on his clapped out 125 two-stroke and comes in with, let's hope so. He needs to be wearing all black and rocking the militia. Boom, and there it is there. Maybe even some spikes on the shoulders, bro. Bam. Thanks for the comment. Let's use up next. Next up, G Moore goes flying by, rocking his cheater scoop tire, and comes in with, they've been saying they're on the verge of something big for a while now, and there it is there. Something's going on in that Deegan camp. I doubt they're just sitting back saying, let's just let the industry run the show. No, no, no. I agree, my brother. Let's see who's up next. Last but certainly not least, Kenny Moto crosses the finish line, lights the candles, gets the Bubba neck burn with. The industry's making it hard on all the racers with rules and regulations. Like father and son, they're winners. They will do what's right for all the riders. We need the Deegans in the sport. They're gladiators. I watched Brian back in the day, and now I watch his son, Danger Boy. Way cool. You know what's cool? Everybody that participated. If you're new, jump in there, pull a tear off, get your open face. The roost is flying. Make sure you read the rest. Thanks to everybody who participated. A lot of fun for sure. Let's jump back to the studio and wrap this one up. All right, friends, welcome back. And there you go. So clearly you guys are like, yeah, no, they're not playing by the rules. And, you know, something's brewing, right? It's like right now it's really speculative at this point. But something's brewing. And I just anticipate at some point something big, a bomb drop is going to happen on the industry in terms of their financial position and having to basically pay these riders more money. It's to the point now where the Deegans have so much money, it's not about that anymore. And I really think these are good-hearted people. At least I know Brian and his wife and the family, clearly they're doing something right over there. And I know they're about God, family, country. And I think that they're to the point now where like, okay, we've dominated. It's now time to do something to really put our stamp here on the sport. And final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator, as a moto guy that wants to see not only win on the track, off the track. Understand the waters you're swimming in now. They're shark infested. Industry, welcome to the swimming pool. Man, I've been in the industry deep for many years, and I've seen the politics that occur. It appears that the swamp has gotten a lot deeper. You need to pay these riders. You need to do something quick, because if you don't, somebody like the Deegans is going to force your hand. Advice, and I'd never suggest anybody do anything I'm not willing or doing myself. Get in front of this. Get in front of this now and do something other than these stupid playoffs that have this supposable payout that's supposed to reward the riders. Clearly, that is not the case, as most of these top riders aren't even showing up for these things anymore, and you're mismanaging the events that are currently even happening. If you don't get in front of this now, these playoffs will be short-lived, and Walty's going to have to be here to blow the lid off it every step of the way, because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to follow me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you enjoyed this video, you're going to love the next video. And there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Don't go over the bars. God bless, and I'll see you on the next video.